فيه حد محدود ولا نعت موجود، فطر الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته ووتد بالصخور ميضان عرضه، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد، اللهم صل على محمد، طب القلوب ودوائها ونور أبصارها، وعلى أهل بيته الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا، اللهم صل على محمد. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. آمنا بالله، صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد. For the love of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, with the loudest of our voices, صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. For the love of Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, أرواحنا له الفداء، صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. First of all, we thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us with this great and wonderful moment, wonderful opportunity tonight to celebrate the divine appointment of our beloved Imam, Mawla al-Kainat, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. First and foremost, our felicitation goes to the Imam of our time, Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, on this appointment of our beloved Imam. And secondly, felicitation goes to our great scholars, our Maraji Idham, who day in, day out, tirelessly trying as much as they can to serve this religion. And thirdly, to you, respected brothers and sisters, the lovers and the followers of Ahlul Bayt, on this auspicious occasion that marks the appointment of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. Indeed, there is no better day to celebrate than this particular day and particular night. And through many riwayat that we received from Ahlul Bayt, there is no Eid that can be equaled to this Eid, which is called Eid-e-Ghadeer. The Eid of Wilayah and the Eid of Imamat and the Eid of divine leadership. Somebody even came to one of our Imam, the Chief Imam, and asked our Chief Imam which one of the Eid is the best and valuable and higher in the eye of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for one to celebrate and be more grateful to Allah. Then Imam alayhi salatu wasalam said, Afdalu a'yadi ummati Eid-e-Ghadeer. The best of all the Eid of my ummah is Eid-e-Ghadeer, because it is a day where the ma'arifah of Allah and the religion of Allah is giving shape. This is a day where prophethood and imamate and mahadawiyat were joined together. So therefore tonight, inshallah, what I'm going to discuss is something which is very, very important, and it will be a little bit more academic. So I will need your attention, inshallah, for us to be able to understand where we stand as lovers and followers of Ahlul Bayt. I want to discuss about Wilayah, which is a very, very important topic, and the whole institution of Shiism is built on Wilayah. If you do not have that proper Wilayah, which you are required to have, you cannot call yourself Shia, and you cannot call yourself a true lover and a true follower of Ahlul Bayt. Therefore, the question of Wilayah is the most important discussion within the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Therefore, you find many a times Shia will tell you, I have a Wilayah, you do not have a Wilayah. Inshallah, tonight we'll spend these few minutes to discuss what is Wilayah under a topic, the value of Wilayah for the right guided leadership. And based on this topic, we're going to look at the examination through 3 stages. The first stage will look at the meaning and the definition of wala. Wala is the word wilaya is coming from. So we look at what is the meaning of al-wala and what are the divisions and the kinds or the types of al-wala. Because for you to say you have a proper wilaya to Ahlul Bayt, you need to truly understand what that wala and wilaya is all about. That's number one. Number two, we will look at the true wilaya for Ahlul Bayt. Then from there you realize that, am I having a true wilaya for Ahlul Bayt, or my wilaya is not true wilaya for Ahlul Bayt? And last but not least, we will conclude by looking at the verifications and the manifestations of wilaya. What should I do for me to be told I have a wilaya? What if I do not do, I will be told I don't have a wilaya? Once we understand this, then we'll be able to say we have celebrated Eid-e-Ghadeer in the best possible way. Remember, on Friday we discussed one of the essence of Eid-e-Ghadeer. And we said there are a lot of essences and there are a lot of philosophies. One of the philosophy of Eid-e-Ghadeer is the protection of revelation and Quran. So therefore, one cannot claim to celebrate Eid-e-Ghadeer if he or she does not have any affiliation with Quran and the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because we are told in the riwayat that Rasulullah, he came with the revelation. And Ghadeer marked the beginning of the preservation and the protection of the interpretation of the revelation we received from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. The second aspect of Ghadeer is wilaya, which we want to discuss. Now question, what is wilaya? Because generally, when we talk of wilaya, the common understanding is that allegiance. I pay allegiance to Ahlul Bayt. I say immediately after Prophet is Imam Amir al-Mu'minin and his children. That is only laklakatul lisan. That is just words of mouth. Wilaya is something beyond that. Wilaya is not about what comes out of your mouth. Wilaya is not a slogan to chant. Wilaya is a culture. Wilaya is a civilization. Wilaya is attitude. Wilaya is character. So if you do understand wilaya properly, then you will be able to say, I have a wilaya for Ahlul Bayt and Imam is my Mawla. Then Imam Amir al-Mu'minin, look at the hadith of Ghadeer. There is a portion which we all know and we are familiar with. Man kuntu Mawla, fahadha aliyun Mawla. This is a portion that tells us everything is about wilaya. So what is wilaya? As we mentioned, wilaya is from the word al-wala. Wala in English means loyalty. So when we talk of wilaya, wilaya is not just love. Because when we talk of a love, it's mailun nafsi. Love is a psychological inclination to something. For instance, you find a very good quality in one particular person. The moment you see that quality, what do? You get inclined to that person. That's what they call mahabba and love. Or maybe you happen to be at a particular place, at a particular environment. And when you are there, you spot some beautiful plants or beautiful atmosphere. The moment you see that atmosphere, what comes to mind? You get inclination to it. That's what they call love. So they say love is getting inclination to something psychologically or mentally. Wilaya is above that. Wilaya is above love. Wala is not love. Ulama said al-wala a'zam wa a'la min al-mahabba. Wilaya is higher and greater than love. The scholars came forward and said, what is the meaning of al-wala? When we talk of wala or wilaya, they said it is al-irtibatul manhaji bain al-muwali wal-muwalat. When we talk of wilaya, it is a practical connection between the pro and the loyalists. Listen very carefully. You have what is called muwalat and you have what is called muwali. So now this muwalat and muwali, pro and loyalist, has to come together practically. Once they are together practically, then we call it wilaya. Therefore, only love cannot be called wilaya. Regarding a person as role model, just regarding, cannot be called wilaya. Once that practical connection is there, you cannot live without that. That is what we call wilaya. Therefore, scholars came forward and said, we have two kinds of wilaya. The first kind they call al-wala mustatir, and the second one they call al-wala baris. Everyone sitting here, we have ways of demonstrating our wilaya to Ahlul Bayt. We do not demonstrate our wilaya in the same fashion, in the same way. Therefore, this categorization will help me and you to understand how we demonstrate our wilaya. They said the first category is mustatir, whereby it's a secret form of wilaya. I show my wilaya to Ahlul Bayt, but in a secret way. Example is what Farazdak said to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. You see, when Imam was on his way to Karbala from Makkah al-Mukarramah, he met this great poet by the name Farazdak. He's a very famous poet. You want to know the best poems about Ahlul Bayt? Look at the poems of Farazdak. Abu Abdullah met Farazdak on the way. And he asked Farazdak, you are from Karbala, you are from Iraq. What will you tell me about the people of Iraq? Are they ready for me or they are not ready for me? This is what they call secret wilaya. Then Farazdak said to Abu Abdullah, قُلُوبُهُمْ مَعَكْ وَسُيُوفُهُمْ عَلَيْكَ. Oh Abu Abdullah, their hearts are with you, but their swords are against you. In other words, those people, they had the wilaya of Ahlul Bayt, but because of certain situation and condition, they could not come out to declare their wilaya. Here scholars said, yes, their wilaya was positive wilaya, but because of certain situation, maybe they may endanger themselves, they may be in problems, they may be in difficulties, so they did not come out to show their wilaya. This is what they call wala al-mustatir. Listen to Ahmad Shawqi, one of the great poem. He said, Uhibbul Hussein, walakinnama kalbi ma'ahu wa lisani alayh. He said, I love Hussein so much, but my heart is with Hussein and my tongue is against Hussein. Here, Shawqi, when he was asked why, he said, because of the situation. And in one of his poems also, he said, Habastu lisani ammadihi. I held my tongue not to praise him. Who? Abu Abdullah. Hizaru Umayyah an takta'ani, because I was scared Umayyah would chop me into pieces. So this is the first form of wilaya. Sometimes you may have the wilaya, but because of certain situation, you hide the wilaya. That's number one. Number two wilaya, they call wilaya baris. You let your wilaya manifest. Your wilaya is seen. It is very, very transparent. Your wilaya is obvious. The same Farazdak taught us wilaya baris. When Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, our Imam Zain al-Abidin salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. You know, there was a time during Manasik of Hajj. Hisham ibn Abdul Malik came to Kaaba. When he arrived at Kaaba, it was overcrowded. People around Kaaba. There was no place for him to move. And he was there with his entourage. He tried to get closer to Kaaba. He couldn't make it. As he was standing there with his people, here comes Imam Zain al-Abidin. The moment Imam arrives, people started opening, until Imam got to Hajar al-Aswad, and Imam touched and kissed Hajar al-Aswad. Now when Imam kissed Hajar al-Aswad, one of the people of Hisham asked, Hisham, who is this man? That the moment he arrived, everybody was opening. He was not even talking to people. They were just opening, and he just got to Kaaba and he kissed and he came out. Hisham said, I don't know who is the person. Although scholars said he knew, he just didn't want to tell them. Then Farazdak was standing there. When Farazdak heard that, Farazdak said, Ana a'arifuhu, I know him. Ana u'arifukum iya, I will introduce you to who he is. So they asked Farazdak, who is that man? Then he said, هذا الذي تعرفه البطحاء وتعته والبيت يعرفه والحل والحرم. هذا ابن خير عباد الله. In a longer poem, Farazdak now started introducing Imam Zain al-Abidin. Abdul Malik ibn Isham was there. He was not scared of his life because now this is open and obvious wilaya. What did he say? He said, this is a person whom the valley of Mecca recognized his status. And he said, this is a person whom the sacred house, which is Kaaba, knows him. And the land outside the Kaaba knows him. He is the son of the best of the creatures of Allah on the face of the universe. And he is the most purest person of his time. Here ulama said this is what we call wala baris. Farazda came out openly and introduced Imam Zain al-Abidin. So this is the meaning of wilaya. Yes, some scholars came forward and said, there are other meanings of wilaya, which I don't want to go much into that. They said another meaning, what they call wala salbi wa wala ijabi. Negative wilaya and positive wilaya. They said what is negative wilaya? Is to pay allegiance and become loyal to anyone who is enemy to Islam and enemy to the teachings of Islam. And then positive one, and the general, they said, is to be loyal to someone who love Islam and love Islamic society. So that is number one, first examination. The second examination, let us look at Hakikatul Wala li Ahl al-Bayt. That's the most important aspect. The true wilaya for Ahl al-Bayt. What is the true wilaya? Because tonight and tomorrow are days and night of wilaya. They said now for me and you to know the true wilaya of Ahl al-Bayt, we need to understand that we have what is called wala am and wala khas. We have a general wilaya, we have a specific wilaya. General wilaya is to show your wilaya to Islam. I love Islam. I'm ready to defend Islam. I don't want anyone to associate wrongs to Islam. Whatever the situation, I'm ready to die for Islam. That's what they call general wilaya. So maybe sometimes me and you, our wilaya is general, it's not specific wilaya. The specific wilaya, they said it is the wilaya of Ahl al-Bayt. And how is it? They said this wilaya has two major verifications. Listen very carefully. The first verification is mahabba. And the second verification is imama. Listen very carefully. Mahabba, we share with other school of thoughts. Wilaya for Ahl al-Bayt is of two verification. The first one, Mahabba, Sunni, Shia, we all claim we love Ahl al-Bayt. So that love is there. So everybody say, I have wilaya for Ahl al-Bayt. And that's what Allah mentioned in Quran. Kulla as'alukum alayhi ajra illa al-mawaddata fil qurba. The way you say you love them, Sunnis also quote the same verse and they say, we love Ahl al-Bayt. And I give a typical example, one day Imam Shafi'i was in Mecca and people were in Mina and Arafah. And Imam Shafi'i had people calling Shia Rafidi. You know, normally those who are not followers of Ahl al-Bayt, they call those who are not followers Rafidi. Rafidi means those who deny that Prophet was the true Prophet. The position of Imam Ali was taken by Prophet. So Imam Shafi'i, he said, if love of Ahl al-Bayt is what is called a rafd, the denial, then jinn and ins should witness that I am a Rafidi. That's what I call, we share with the Sunnis. But the second one is very difficult, which then you have to see if you belong there or I belong there. That verification of imama, and they said the imama is made up of three components. The first component of it is that mansabul ruju wal marja'iyya wal hujja. Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salatu was salam, when we talk of them being our imams and they have the wilaya, what are we trying to say in the first place? We are trying to say they are our hujjah and proof. Their sayings, their actions, their speeches, their silence approval are hujjah on us. Yani whatever Ahlul Bayt did, I will try to do it in my life because it is a hujjah. Tomorrow on the day of Qiyamah, I will be vindicated. Why? Because I did what Ahlul Bayt do. And the same thing, they are marja'iyya. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, we have to refer to them in everything. Not in things that fits you, convenience, and other things. You don't follow them. If you do that, you do not have a true wilaya. I'll give you examples. So in the first place, our wilaya should go to Allah in terms of taking everything from them. And number two, referring and taking everything back to them for them to tell us what we need to do and what we are not supposed to do. This is what they call marja'iyya. That is the marja'iyat we have for Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. Therefore, when you come to Quran talk about this wila, where Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam supposed to be the marja. They're supposed to be the hujjah. In everything that we do, we have to take it back to them. Whatever you do, it should be dictated by Ahlul Bayt. If Ahlul Bayt say it's haram, you don't do. If you do, you do not have wilaya. One brother came and asked me, why is it haram to marry kafir? I said, Ahlul Bayt mentioned. If you have the proper wilaya of Ahlul Bayt, you will not do it. Wilaya is such that you don't take part and leave part. If you take part and leave part, then you do not have the wilaya of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. Therefore, the first form of our wilaya, which is the component, is that Ahlul Bayt, they are hujjah. And Ahlul Bayt, they are the marja'iyat of whatever we do. So you as a brother, you as a sister, who claim to love Ahlul Bayt, know that your wilaya and loyalty to Ahlul Bayt demand from you that in each and every step of your life, you should seek the intervention of Ahlul Bayt. You should ask for what Ahlul Bayt say about that particular incident. If you don't do according to them, then you cannot claim to have a true wilaya for Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. That's number one. Number two of the wilaya of Ahlul Bayt, they call it mansabul walatul amr. Ahlul Bayt, they are not just like a hujjah. They assume authority over everything that you have. I give an example. In fiqh, when the jurists issue a statement can be viewed from two dimensions in fiqh. One dimension, they call it fatwa. And one dimension, they call it hukum. Difference between fatwa and hukum. What is fatwa? When marja say it's fatwa, it means it is a general verdict. It is not specifically for this marja and not the other marja. Every marja will come after that marja, he cannot change it. It will remain like that until the day of Qiyamah. That's what they call fatwa. I give an example. When a marja tells you in his book, if you doubt between 3 and 4 rak'at, in the salat of 4 rak'ah, you should consider it 4 rak'at. Then after that, you do 1 salat of ihtiyat. This is what we call fatwa. Since the beginning of marja'iyat until Qiyamah, it will not change this fatwa. But sometimes marja doesn't issue fatwa, they issue what is called hukum. What is hukum? One marja say is hukum. It is a verdict they issue for a particular situation. Maybe that situation will be over, and then that law will not work again. Example, don't eat a product from a particular country. This product is from this country, so don't eat. So then the marja will issue fatwa like that. Don't drink this particular drink. This what we call hukum is not fatwa, because it is not forever and ever and ever. It is for specific time. Here we are told, as lovers of Ahlul Bayt, we should follow marja'iyat in everything. Now come to Rasulullah. Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt, they have that authority over us. So the second component of imamat is that every hukum, every law, which is issued by Rasulullah, which is issued by Ahlul Bayt, the Shias of Ahlul Bayt must follow it without any doubt. Therefore, Allah, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, when he talks about Rasulullah, what does he say? He said, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا كَذَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُ الْخِيَرَةُ. A believing man or believing woman will have no choice in a situation where Allah and Rasul give verdicts. Mu'min does not have a choice. That's what we call waliyul amr. Yani Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt, they have that authority. Even the common verse of salawat, which Allah said, وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا, there are two meanings for it. The first meaning, when you go to Rasul, you pass salam. But the second meaning means yusallimu taslima. You must succumb to everything that Rasul and Ahlul Bayt ask you to do. If you do not succumb, then you cannot consider yourself someone who has wilaya. You cannot claim to have wilaya if you don't succumb to what Rasul say and what Ahlul Bayt. Look at Quran. فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُوا حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِيمَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ. Allah said, you Rasulullah, these people, they believe in you, and you have to make sure in everything they follow you. So therefore, we have to follow Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt. And now that wilaya and authority of Rasul was transferred to Ahlul Bayt on the day of Ghadeer home, where Rasulullah first told the Ummah and asked them, am I not awla bil mu'minina min anfusihim? Am I not superior than you believers and yourselves? They said yes. Then he said, Man kuntu mawla, fahadha aliyum mawla. It means on that day, waliyul amr muslimin, who's supposed to have the authority of all the affairs of a ummah, is been transferred from Rasulullah to Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam. That's two. Number three, the component of imama which is under wala al-khas is tasarruf fil mawjudat. Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam, after being marja, which we explain, after Ahlul Bayt being having this wilaya, they have authority through the decree of Allah to control the affairs of the world. If you are a Shia and you claim to have a wilaya and you believe in that, then you have a problem. Ahlul Bayt, Allah has given them that authority to control cosmos. In the world of materialism, one of the components of their wilaya is that they can tamper with things. This is what ulama call wilaya to takwiniya. You see, we have two types of wilaya in terms of controlling: tashri'iyya and takwiniya. Ahlul Bayt, they have a power over all the Islamic verdicts. As Allah mentioned in one of the riwayah, telling Rasulullah, Inna Allah fawwada amru dinihi ala nabiyyi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given all the affairs of his religion to his prophets. Then you know this riwayah, very interesting riwayah. This is tashri'iyya, yani in Sharia, Rasul and Ahlul Bayt, they have control. They have authority, they can tamper with it. But of course through the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now Allah, in riwayah we are told, Allah gave Rasulullah Zuhur 2 rak'ats. Then Allah asked Rasul to add from him. Then he added 2 rak'at from him. Therefore we are told in hadith, when you travel, the 2 of Rasul fall and the 2 of Allah remain. This is wilayatul tashri'iyya for Rasul and Ahlul Bayt. And we are told also, Allah in Quran made zakat incumbent. But the specification, he left it with Rasul. And Rasul said, all these 7 places, lil fuqara, wal masakin, wal hamilina, these are all from Rasulullah. So this is what we call wilayatul tashri'iyya. Takwiniyya, the same thing, Ahlul Bayt. But they said, how did Ahlul Bayt get to this wilayatul takwiniyya? Allah did not give them the authority to control the affairs of material world just like that. Ahlul Bayt had to go through process, which when me and you can also go through that process, we may get some wilaya to takwiniya where we will be able to control certain things in our affairs of this dunya. One of them we are taught al-hukuma al-nafs. Ahlul Bayt, they had total control over their nafs. Therefore Allah said, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَحَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى. They had total control over their nafs. When they had total control over their nafs, what did Allah do? Allah gave them hikmah, wisdom. Because Quran mentioned, الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. They control the nafs, then Allah gave them wisdom. And the third thing which Ahlul Bayt did is that they managed to control their illusions and imaginations. Whoever is able to control his or her illusion and imagination, that person will be able to reach certain stage of spirituality. And that is what Ahlul Bayt reach. And Allah taught us in Hadith al-Qudsi, Ya ibn Adam, ati'ni fima amartuk, ana alladhi aqulu li shay'in kun fayakun, aj'aluka taqulu li shay'in kun fayakun. O son of Adam, obey me in my command. I say to things be, and it happens. I will make you to say to things be, and it will happen. If Allah is talking to son of Adam, what of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam? But many people came forward and said, okay, we believe prophets can do. What of ordinary people? Because prophet, you have a lot. Sulaiman alayhi salatu wassalam, he could control jinns and the air. We have Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, he would raise dead easily. And we have Rasulullah. One man came, Yahud. He came to Rasul. He said, I want to believe in you, but in one condition. Rasulullah asked him, what is the condition? He said, I want you to call this tree. If this tree can walk from that position to me, to you, then I will follow you. Rasulullah called the tree, and the tree walked from there and came to Rasulullah. That's wilayatul taqweeniyah. It's easy for Ahlul Bayt. It's easy for Rasulullah. So somebody came and said, no, okay, for Ahlul Bayt, for Rasul and Anbiya, it's okay. What of ordinary people? We said, ordinary people is also easy. Easy. I give an example. The throne of Bilqis. From Yemen to Baytul Maqdis, what is the distance? But now the Prophet of Allah, Sulaiman, who will bring this throne from me? One Ifrit said, I will bring it to you by the time you rise from your position to this position. But the other one said, no, I will bring a throne from Yemen to Baytul Maqdis within a twinkle of an eye. And this person who brought it, what does Allah say in Quran? وَقَالَ الَّذِي عِنْدَهُ عِلْمٌ مِّنَ الْكِتَابِ. The one who's got the knowledge from the book said, I will bring it to you within a twinkle of an eye. Yes, scholars, Imam Jafar Sadiq made it very clear in the riwayah. They said, if this person had knowledge from the book, and through the knowledge from the book, he is able to bring it within a twinkle of an eye, what of the one who had the knowledge of the book? Because Quran mentioned ilmul kitab and ilmun min al-kitab. Ilmul kitab is referring to Amir al-Mu'minin. He had the knowledge of the book. But this person had the knowledge from the book. That means it's min tab'idiyah. And the same thing about Abdullah. One day he was sitting with his son Ali Akbar in the mosque. Ali Akbar came to Abu Abdullah. He said, Papa, I am craving grape. And it was not a grape season. This will lead to taqweeniyah. But Abu Abdullah, the affection and the love he had for Ali Akbar, he could not say no to Ali Akbar. He made dua, hit his hand on the wall, and grape came out of it. This is what we call wilayatul taqweeniyah. So we as lovers and the followers of Ahlul Bayt, we believe Ahlul Bayt, they had also wilayatul taqweeniyah. Allah has given them the control of the world. They can control everything in the world. Lastly, which is very practical to you and me, what are the verification of wilayah? Apart from these beliefs we have outlined, now you and me in our own day-to-day lives, what do we have to do for us to be regarded as wilayah? I'm going to mention very important points which are mentioned by our scholars. You check yourself on those things, and then you'll be able to tell whether you have a strong wilayah for Ahlul Bayt, because wilayah means loyalty. Are you loyal? Your loyalty, will it reach that loyalty of Abul Fadl al-Abbas, who even denied himself water because of Hussein? Your loyalty will reach that loyalty of Maytham al-Tammar, whom when they placed the knife on his tongue, he said, do you still want me to tell you about my beloved Amir al-Mu'mineen? Your loyalty, that is wilayah. Wilayah means loyalty. Are you loyal? Or you just claim that I love Ahlul Bayt? Wilayah means loyalty. You have to be loyal. Am I loyal? Like Zuhair ibn al-Kain. Muslim Ibn Awsaja, who said, if I will be chopped off 100 years, 1,000 years, 1,000, and I come back 7 times, I will still give my head to Hussein. This is a wilaya we are talking about, brothers. And tonight is the night of wilaya. Therefore, ulama came forward and said, wilaya number 1 is not a slogan that you chant. To chant is easy. Wilaya is not a slogan. Number 2, wilaya is not words that you utter. Wilaya, as I mentioned, is character. Wilaya is behavior. Wilaya is civilization. Wilaya is a way of life. Therefore, look at the following points, brothers and sisters. Scholars say some, because of the higher state of their wilaya, every single day that marks the shahada of every imam, they will close their businesses. Highest form of wilaya. Who closed his business on the shahada of Fatima al-Zahra? We only close on Ashura, fine. Ulama said this is the highest form of wilaya. Yani you have reached that point on a day when one of the imams are gone from this world, either through poison or through anything. Said, no, today I'm not happy. I don't want to take anything. I depend on Allah. That's the highest form of wilaya. Some scholars said if you cannot do that, close a little bit for some time to show that today you are not happy. They said whoever is able to do that, witness for him, he is a true Shia and Muwali li Amir al-Mu'minin. You know, it needs sacrifice. For me to be able to close my business on the Shahada of Fatima, on the Shahada of Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, on the Shahada of Imam al-Rada, it's not a joke. Therefore, if you are able to do it, then you have reached that higher state of wilaya. Because there were companions of Ahl al-Bayt, whom because of their wilaya to Ahl al-Bayt, on those days of the wafat of Ahl al-Bayt, they would not think of anything but being in a place where they will be mourning and crying for Ahl al-Bayt. That's number 1. Number 2, verification of wilaya, we check ourselves. In terms of names, we give to ourselves, to our children, and to our businesses. Scholars came forward and said, a true muwali for Ahl al-Bayt, when he's blessed with a child, he gives names of Ahl al-Bayt. A true muwali of Ahl al-Bayt, when he opens a business, he tries to give names for Ahl al-Bayt, so that people will ask and will be able to explain about Ahl al-Bayt. These are the verification of wilaya. Today you have people, they're running away from naming their children the names of Allah. You ask them why? They said, when I apply visa, sometimes I don't get. Wilaya is not laklakatun nisa ya Ali. No. Wilaya is not. Abdullah ibn Mati say ya Ali more than me and you in his life. But he died wanting to kill Abu Abdullah. Abdullah ibn Hurr al-Jawfi, he said ya Ali more than me and you, wallahi. But he died denying Abu Abdullah outright. Wilaya is action. That's what we call wilaya. So therefore the second verification, your business with Jafar business, Panjitam Park business. That shows that you are connected with them. That shows that you are with them. You don't want to stay away from them. Third, verification of wilaya. Ulama said if you have endowment waqf, put that waqf in the name of Ahlul Bayt. Today people give some funny names, you don't even understand the names. You ask them why, they say no, if people get to know, they will put I. Will put I. Lovers of Ahlul Bayt are peace-loving people. Be sincere and the rizq will come from Allah. So scholars said your endowment, you put it in the name of Ahlul Bayt, so that their names will flourish now and then. People will ask, what is Ja'far? What is Reza? And then they will get to know that indeed these are great personalities. It's like you have Christians sometimes, certain they have St. Peter's, certain they put Matthew, Jerome. These things is just to remind them of their allegiance and loyalty to those people. The fourth one, which is very, very important of the verification of wilaya, which our scholars mention, is that if you truly have a wilaya of Ahlul Bayt, and you know there is a lover of Ahlul Bayt who genuinely dying from hunger, no food, no proper accommodation. Wallah, if we are true lovers of Ahlul Bayt, we will not sleep until we make sure those people are sorted. Sometimes we have in our own midst lovers of Imam Ja'far who said, Aliyun waliyullah. They are dying from hunger. No food, no water. They have to try every nook and cranny to get what to eat. Our great scholar said, if you want to verify whether you have true love for Ahlul Bayt, look at how you treat those people. I cannot claim to be true lover and muwali for Ahlul Bayt when my fellow brother or my fellow sister who is a lover of Ahlul Bayt doesn't even have a place to sleep. They said if you have a wilaya, you will make sure whoever has got that wilaya will be happy the way you are happy. But if you don't have that proper wilaya, you don't care about anything. And last but not least, they said the true verification of wilaya. If you have a wilaya, every now and then in your life, you will have something reading about Ahlul Bayt. You cannot stay away from reading about the lives of Ahlul Bayt. So anyone who has got the wilaya, he will make sure he reads something new about Ahlul Bayt in his or her life. One cannot claim to be muwali. Muwali means I want to be loyal to their teachings. I want to be loyal to their endeavors. I want to make sure I give life to what they stood for. I want to make sure I stand toe to toe with Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam. Therefore, you now and then read. And in conclusion, people came forward and said, if you talk of wilaya, you are talking of bringing disunity. There are many people who came forward. Because when you talk wilaya, but tawalli and tabarri, isn't it? So if I say I have a wilaya, I must also do tabarri. Wilaya means I love them, I'm loyal to them. Tabarri means I stay away from their enemies and whoever associate or subscribe enmity to Ahlul Bayt. We said, no. We don't show enmity to anyone. When we talk of the wilaya, you have to differentiate between people. There are people who are not Muslims and they don't show any enmity to Islam. Those people, it is highly recommended even to be friends with them so that you can change their mind or show them the beauty of Islam. But Islam said, based on the principle of wilaya and tabarra, anyone who is not a Muslim, but he subscribes enmity to Islam, he shows a lot of enmity, antagonism, you stay away from that person. You don't show any love to that person. And that is what Islam taught us. And number two, when we say you have to have the wilaya of Ahlul Bayt, it means you have to deny zulum and injustice. Wilaya means I am denying zulum. I am denying injustice, like the people of Ibrahim, inna bura'a'u minkum wa mimma ta'buduna min dunillah kafarna bikum wa bada baynana wa bayna bikum al-adawatu wal baghdha hatta tu'minu billahi wahda. People of Ibrahim said, we make bara'ah from you people who ascribe enmity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, in a nutshell, we are celebrating tonight to remember that moment when the leadership of Allah was given a new crown to continue until Mahdawiyyat. For me and you to benefit from it, we need to understand what is expected of us. We need to do a lot of work. We need to do a lot of actions. We cannot remain only on the words of mouth. Imam need action. Once you show in your life in your action that you are muwali for Ahlul Bayt, definitely Ahlul Bayt also will be with you, and they will intercede for you, and they will make sure in each and every moment of your life they will not leave you alone. That's our belief. In this dunya and akhirah, if your wilaya is firm, be rest assured, Ahlul Bayt will not leave you alone. They will hold your hands in difficulties, in easiness. Wherever you want to go as destination, they will make sure you reach that destination without any difficulties. Therefore, we ask Allah, Tabarak wa Ta'ala, to enshrine their love in our heart. Allah, we ask you, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, today being the day or the night of the Ghadeer home, it is the night that we renew our allegiance and loyalty to Ahlul Bayt. Allah, we ask you, keep us in this fold until the day of Qiyamah. Allah, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, let the love of Ahlul Bayt encompass each and every aspect of our lives. If there is something that will put some doubt in our hearts in relating to the love of Ali Muhammad, we ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, through the barakat of tonight, being the night of istajaba, the night of dua, the night of a'mal, we ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to take those things away from us, inshallah. Whatever will strengthen us and motivate us to have a deep understanding of our wilaya for Ahlul Bayt, we ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to bring it closer to us, inshaAllah. Wa akhir da'wana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi tahirin.